Well, I gotta ask you, is it dangerous to speak up?
It's more dangerous to not say something than to say something. You know what that means? That means that at the end of the day, my daddy always said, look, man, they're going to kill you, you know. Regardless, they're going to kill you. So they can either kill you for something or kill you for nothing. And what he meant by that, right, is, I'll give you a crazy example. I'm coming in the game as a Fuji, right? It's called Refugee Camp.
Right.
Translator Crew, 1994. First album called Blunted on Reality. Fam. And what's crazy is the backbone I always remember in that record, like we putting stuff like, ew, you Haitian? You got HBO Haitian body odor? You like showing the stereotype of what they were doing to Haitians at the time. Because we was like, yo, at the end of the day, we fly, but we gonna put in this work. And people was like, nah, you really don't wanna say you Haitian until you actually made it. Cause you are going through, and dog, and when we made it, I look back and see different people that was Haitian, and it was like, what if we did not speak up? The fact that I spoke up, this kid from my hood versus him picking up a gun, he actually picked up a guitar and started singing and say he could be the next Wyclef. You know, what if you don't speak up, right? Somebody in your neighborhood could be doing the wrong thing while we talking right here, and you say one word, and he go, nah, dog, I'm gonna change that life. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, people try to put a big, do you get challenged when you speak up? Yeah, you feel me? Like, think about it. On my level, right, they expecting you to walk a certain lane, right? Everybody know that's watching this. And the minute you decide like you're gonna move, like, you know, take an example. Let's talk facts. Yele, Haiti.
Right.
Started an organization.
Right.
I said, I don't want it to be an organization. It's going to be a non-governmental organization. They said, what you mean? I said, it's going to operate as its own government. They said, okay, talk to us a little further. I said, why every time there's a disaster, we got to wait for a Red Cross to literally come and deliver us every time.
Right.
You have to wait for the boat. You have to wait for the helicopter. You got to wait for the food.
Right.
So I'm like, wouldn't it just make sense if we start buying our own logistics and putting them on the entire island? So if Puerto Rico have something, if Cuba have something, if Haiti have something, hold on. One nigga ain't supposed to have all that power. So what do? They infiltrate. They start spreading lies. Yo, this nigga done stole $17 million in his, you know what I'm saying? And I felt like disrespect. They should at least said I took 100, because the car collection alone, you feel what I'm saying? So, no, just was saying at the time, I was like, yo, these people are disrespecting me, man.
Right.
So, but I'm saying that, right? Because, and then they plant these stories, and then now these stories get wind, right? And I remember sitting on the couch with Oprah Winfrey. And I'm not trying to drop names like Kanye at all. You know what I'm saying? That's the man, right? But I did bring a bag with me. Right?
Right.
So, but I remember sitting on Oprah Winfrey's couch, and tears was coming out of my eyes.
Why?
Because, and people was making memes out of these tears. It was like, look, right? Because when I went to the island, King, and after that earthquake, and I walked out that airport, when I see mothers that are still pregnant, that are dead under the hot sun, when I see that there's no longer hospitals and these hotels become like the safe haven for people. And now I'm walking through these hotels trying to see what I can do. And a kid go, hey, Wyclef, come here. And he says, you good? I said, I'm good. And he goes, yo, sing Yele for me. And I'm about to sing Yele for him. And I know when I'm like singing that it's literally gonna be his transition. And everybody that's watching this, street folks, church folks, all kind of folks understand and know the feeling of what it means to have someone transition in your hand as they leave the planet. But as I was crying on Oprah, this is what I was crying. And then I was tearing up. But then I was like, I remember what my daddy said. Again, no good deed goes unpunished, right? Because they gotta take us to this space to try to get us all to turn on each other. You know what I mean?
Right.
So of course you're going to be challenged, but it's either you're gonna fight the real fight or you're not gonna fight at all. Yeah.
I hope those words are inspiration, not just for the people in this room, but for the people watching. You talk about the conditions in Haiti. Things have taken a turn for the worse. There's thousands of refugees in Texas as we speak. The assassination of the president, Moise. Can you give me some insight on how this is all taking place? Like, we watch these things from a distance. We see them. Desensitized or not, we're still confused at like, what's going on over there?
Without getting yourself in trouble.
I mean, I'm already in trouble. I was born in trouble. You
Without
feel me?
getting yourself in more trouble.
I know, but I'm a renegade, baby. It is what it is, right? So the bottom line to it is this. Haiti is within the Americas, families. Haiti is within the Americas. Geographically, Haiti is within America, right? So in order for Haiti to change, Haiti will change. First of all of the Haitians that are watching this right now, how can you constantly say that Haiti is going to change without taking the risk of actually being in the field back at home, right? This is real talk, right? Because usually when our parents bring us to America, they want us to be content. But always remember, right? So the slave that cannot read and write, you can't compare the intelligence with the slave that actually can read. So at the end of the day, if we come here and we get an education, we become doctors, we become nurses, we become ops people, we become police, this is what the country needs. $2 billion per year go back to Haiti, just off the remittance alone. So at the end of the day, in order for Haiti to change, it's gonna take Haitians in America. And it's going to take us going to Washington, D.C. and really working on policies. At the end of the day, think about it. The Marines occupied Haiti, 19-something. Like, that messed Haiti up more, right? At the end of the day, Haiti got its independence in 1804, then had to turn around and be paying the French taxes, right? The Louisiana Purchase y'all got out here. You know what I'm saying? We are in Louisiana, bling, bling, ching, ching, and all of that. Louisiana Purchase would have never happened without the Haitians. Like, being part of that, right? Chicago, that's named after a Haitian. A Haitian discovered Chicago. So every rapper in Chicago now like, yo, we must be Zos. So at the end of the day, right, I only say that to go back to you say, what's really going on? When you have a place where 80% of the population is living on less than $1 a day, if you put me in that environment, how am I gonna act? And in order for it to do that, I believe that Haiti has to enforce the anti-corruption law. We have corruption here. We have corruption in different places, but it don't stop us from moving forward, right? I would like to see the future of Haiti like the Dominican Republic, like the idea of why can't we have these big hotels on our side? We got the white beach sands and everything, right? So it's like you got to think there's a group that never wants it to be fixed, right? And why don't you want it to be fixed, right? Because one of the reasons is, man, Haiti is the babysitting capital of the entire Caribbean for cocaine. Period.
Always money.
Right? So it's always that. You got so at the end of the day, but think about it. Somebody watching that is like, yo, Unc, but the entire Caribbean, man, that cocaine be landing everywhere. That's probably what Alex is saying right now. But check this out, right? But peep it, yeah. It's landing everywhere, but somehow government finds a way to function and to work and to move the country forward despite what's going on.
Right.
And in Haiti, they just can't get that part of it together. So at the end of the day, people keep saying, yo, Haiti's the most corrupted place. Yeah, but at the end of the day, let's start by looking at ourselves. You know what I'm saying? Not just hitting the Twitter, the Facebook, the Instagram. Because let me tell you the difference with Haiti and Jamaica. On my word. Like, you get in a cab and it's a Haitian driver. My daddy used to drive a cab. And the Haitian guy be like, yo, don't go to Haiti. They kidnapped 16 people right now. They're going to chop your head. Don't go, right? Get in another cab. My Jamaican brother. And I know about Jamaica. Yo, I'm thinking about going to Jamaica. Yeah, man. Go to Jamaica. Yeah. Jamaica, nice. Right. I'm like, dog, I'm Tivoli Garden. Yo, I'm in all the Bible. Right? Yeah. Because at the end of the day, they will be bad areas. They'll be rural areas, but that can't represent the entire country. Right. And Haiti is a beautiful place. I always say that Haiti's worst enemy is the PR that it gets within the negativity. Because everything that you see going on is all going on in Port-au-Prince. It's all going on in the capital. Really, the majority is like saying everything going on in Kingston. Yeah, but what about Montego Bay? What about Ocho Rios? So with Haiti, the thing is the entire island is developed. I'm gonna tell you one last fact. When I was young, man, I used to watch these commercials. They'd be like, yo, Africa, kids is starving. Then another, right, then you go and they're like, yo, don't go to Africa. They're gonna shoot you. Yo, when I went to Africa, fam, it was one of the most spiritual experiences that I had. Then I understood why they didn't want me to go. Because basically what that means is I would find myself, right? Then I would come to an understanding of saying, oh, maybe y'all don't want people to go to Haiti because y'all want to keep digging the copper mines. Maybe y'all don't want people to go to Haiti because y'all want to figure out how to extract the gold and the oil on the ground, and until y'all figure that out. These are the things like when I started going to Africa, I started learning. So once again, we have to have that higher awakening.
Right.
It's hot for trapper turn smack rapper. Only smack rapper that you know is smack rappers. Got bars I can hang with the backpackers. Trap star, I don't hang with the backpackers. I'm in the hood with the work you heard. Making fiends leave earth you heard. Got your baby mama thirst you heard. Feel the flow, nigga, throw it in reverse. This the wave you need to